So again, the resources, the adjuster profile, then adding a claim from with the ability to import it, which we're going to discuss as the foundation because this is where it all starts. Adding a claim from both manual, importing a claim, manual, and purchasing the claim is where everything starts, or purchasing a credit. You have to have credits in order to get all the information loaded into OSA. Then you got your claims dashboard. This again is just a manager portion of OSA for you to kind of keep track of what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what you're doing. And the way I like to say it is red. If it's red, then you got work to do. If it's yellow, you may have something to do, or green, that means it's good to go. So I've kind of color coded it for you, and I have some different things here. So I always have the yellow look. If you have the yellow look on there, that means something else probably has to be done with that claim. So you want to make sure that you're going through that the best you can. Okay. Then you have map and scheduling. Yes, every claim that you put in the dashboard is automatically mapped. So an icon will appear. That icon will be gray until you actually schedule it, and then it will change colors. And then you have another calendar look. Then you have the inspection tools. This is 3 parts. The inspection tools consist of photos, sketching or scanning, and line items. And yes, I mean line items for actually writing your estimate in the field to a complete closure, and then just reviewing when you get it in Xactimate. The photos has changed. We've got a little details. I just got off with my developer before the class, and everything that has been done, I'm going to go over with when I get into the actual app, and it's all to benefit you, and it's all to benefit your IA firms as you're working with different claims. Then you have your scanning with this, or your sketch with the scanning, and I give you the state things: select the floor, create the building, and manual draw or scan with LiDAR. You can actually draw it up here in this location if you wanted to, or you can actually scan with LiDAR. Then the inspection tools, how they go, how they show up, what you're doing in the actual scanning process. I'm not going to go in this detail. You can review it with you. And I strongly suggest, if you're coming to the live training, which I know everybody here is going to want to come, that you review this before you get there, because this will help you 100%. I learned last class that we had Saturday that there was one gentleman that walked in. He had already reviewed this thing, and he just kept on going. He didn't stop. He knew what to do, how to do it, everything, because he reviewed the pocket guide beforehand, and he came in, had some questions, not a lot, but he had some questions, and I was able to help him out. And it was mainly with the way the LiDAR worked and everything, but it all worked out good. Okay, then again, just further on sketch, notice the sketching tools that we have up here in this location and some of the details. So the sketching is set up for you in detail, how you can work and just the different things. This is the Thursday class, and we're going to talk briefly about all of this information, but more about closing the claim, because once you do this on site, the important stuff is being at the end about how to close that claim. But we will touch base with this again on Thursday. Then you have the scoping, setting up your line items. Here's your line items that you can put into your scope, writing a room, how you do it with your photos, just the different things, and then selecting the category, selecting the group. There's your line items coming out, adding the line items, what you're doing, and then copying from other rooms. If you have duplicate rooms, like most bedrooms are duplicates, you can add that. Or if you go to Florida, a lot of the houses are duplicates because they all have tile floors. So we give you the ability to add existing, copy from other rooms, so to make your timeline faster. And a good example is in the house. There's an individual on this training that was able to figure it out really quickly, that he did the scoping in one room, and it actually balanced into 5 different bedrooms. This is a 5-bedroom house. All the bedrooms were the same as he looked in the photos, and he was able to copy 5 bedrooms. And so 5 rooms, a written estimate, were written in a matter of 1 click right here. Okay, so scoping again, just as you're going through, yes, you have the ability to delete and remove and change those actual line items in calculation codes as you're going through. The forms, all the forms FEMA requires and your IA form requires. This is the last section, and I always do this at the end when I'm back briefing with the policyholder, and then I go over all the forms with them to show them what's going on. Again, just a brief form, scatter, and then how to download them, how to select the forms. Again, it's all in here, how to do it. Then uploading your ESX, what you need to do, how you need to do it as you go through the process of getting this from your iPad to your actual desktop version or online version of Xactimate. And yes, it is that simple. It doesn't have to go anywhere. It doesn't get emailed to anybody else. It goes straight from your iPad, straight to Xactimate, so you can finalize the claim, write the narrative, and send it into the office for review. And then just again, the ESX, how you do it, download, send it to wherever you need to, and then just some different things. Xactimate import. These are the steps we're going to go over detail on Thursday, because I learned that in the last training class, a lot of adjusters knew about this, but they didn't understand it. So I'm going to make sure that as we go through the inspection process, we go through the Xactimate import, and we go through the whole process of what you have to do when you get into that system, okay? Because there's a few quirks, a few tweaks, and when I was discussing Xactimate, there's actually two ways you can do this through OSA. And then if you receive an assignment from your IA firm that you're working with, you can actually do it through that assignment. There's a little more work that the carrier might, or the IA firm might have to do, but we can bypass that and we don't have to have that done. So if you receive an assignment from, say, Todd's adjusting firm, that's fine. All you got to do is just do the same exact process you're doing now, and you just copy or merge into project. And that's just as simple as that. And we went through it online today, and it was that easy. And then just some helpful hints. The most important down here, and again, I will show you the feedback when we get onto the app. It's just the feedback. You want to make sure you're doing this feedback. And the reason is, not only is the feedback for any problems that you might be having with that, one of the things I need you to make sure of, because I've gotten some feedbacks, is make sure you are putting down your email address. And that is the way we can get back to you. Because when I get a feedback, say, I'm just going to pick on Pam here. Suppose Pam was out in the field, which she did this many times, and she sent a feedback. I get that feedback right away. I'm echelon 1 or tier 1, and I do have other staff that does this too. I immediately, or when I get the availability to do it, I try to recreate what she did. And if I can't recreate it, then I bring it to the developer, or I bring it to tier 2, and then we try to do it. Then if I can't create that, or if my son, who is my developer, can't recreate it, then it might be a problem with Xactimate. So we'll go to Xactimate. Most likely, and probably, and Pam might correct me on this, 100% of the time, or 98% of the time, my son can usually correct it if I have not been able to. And we have a team of 3 that work on the tier 1, and we don't have a lot of business. I mean, really, we don't. We've made the program that intuitive to where we can do it. And all the questions and feedbacks that we've had thus far have all been answered, or have all been modified in the app already, and recent update. For most of you that are on this call that were not there on Saturday. So Saturday, another push came out for the app. It was updated. So if you go to the Apple Store, when you click on the Apple Store, it's going to say that you already have the app open. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Click on the icon OSA, and it's going to do a blip in and a blip out, and then it's going to say update, and then click on the update. It doesn't cost anything to update, but that's how you get the latest and greatest updates that we're doing. Some of you on this call have been set up to automatic update. I know Gary Slattery does an automatic update. There's a couple others on this that do the automatic update that will set you straight right off the bat. It will just automatically do it. But so if you go to the Apple Store, you can do that right now as we're speaking or going through this. Go through that, and if you have a question, ask Pam online or just raise your hand and I'll answer it. I don't have a problem with anybody raising their hand, and I'll address it as I see it, and I try to look for it, and if Pam can't answer it, she'll interrupt me in a heartbeat. So that's not a problem. Okay, so let me get out of this screen share, and I am going to actually dive into, here's Xactimate, just where we are. In Xactimate, I have some of my claims loaded in here with that, but that is not what we're going to be talking about today. This will come on Thursday in detail. All right, so now you should see my website, One Stop Adjuster. Sorry about that, I jumped the gun a little bit. But so this is where basically everything starts. This is the foundation right here. So right here in the foundation, notice I've got the OSA resources right here. If I click on the OSA resources, if I click on that, notice I've got all the videos update. The only videos that are not in there is week 6 and the last one of finishing the claim of week 5. All these other videos are up and running now. And again, like I said, they're the raw footage. But the one other purpose of this website, besides giving you a handful of information and about us, is the import form. This is where everything in OSA begins, right here. So I'm just going to kind of explain the process. So you get a phone call from the IA firm. Hey, Todd, this is Frank's IA firm. We've got a claim, or we want to assign you some claims for handling flood down in Florida. Okay, great. So they're going to email me, they're going to assign me the claims, and they're going to email me a whole bunch of loss notices. Two things. If I'm not connected with them, I'm going to get their loss notices. If I am connected with them, I have the ability, if that connection and they've partnered with us, to have everything uploaded for me directly. Okay. So right now, at this portion, or at this particular moment, there's only one company that is partnered with us. The other ones are still I've got 3 of them that are just saying, okay, well, we want to see a little bit more. We want to see how it's all going to work and everything. So I'm working with them. Okay. So right here, this is called the JSON data form OSA. And all that is the JSON data is just a communication, computer language to get data from one source, which is online, to a stationary device, which is, or a device for communication. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and fill this out independently. And here's why I want to show you this to do it online. Okay, when I go over here to check the box, notice as soon as I put my highlight or my my icon in there, or my clicker, or click on it, my name comes up. So all I got to do is click on my name. So now I've just populated 3 fields. Right here, notice there's a little red dot right here. I need my FCN number. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my FCN number in there. Again, I didn't click on my FCN. I didn't have to type it in. It's just there. Agent name, I can pull up the agent name. It's going to pull up the last 6 that I've gone. I'm just going to use a bogus one. And then no other required field in here. There's no red asterisk. So there's none of these fields are required to set up your claim in OSA. Now, if you have that information on the loss notice, yes, fill it out, because it's just going to make your claim and your other forms in there that much better. Okay. So what you want to do, I'm just going to put One Stop Adjuster as the mortgage company. Okay. The policyholder name, I'm just going to go in and type in just some different names that I've used. Email address, I'm just going to use my email address, my phone number. And then policy numbers, I'm just throwing in there some bogus policy numbers that I've done. Now notice the policyholder name has a red asterisk, the policy number has a red asterisk, and the claim number has a red asterisk. Those are required fields. I have to fill those fields out in order to get all my information into the forms on OSA app, and to get my ESX all the way up to Xactimate. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill out this date. I'll just say the loss date was there, or the policy date was there, and then change the year 1 and there it is. Okay, so forgot to hit yes. Okay, so it's got 1 year EDN. Again, it's not a required. I'll just use Florida's from the last insurer. I'm just going to use NFIP direct as with my address, everything. Then adjusting firm, I'll just use OSA, and then file number. Notice the file number has an asterisk. I'm going to leave it blank to show you what happens if you miss one of those required fields. Then I can just type in this information, lost address. I'll just give you another lost address. These are just bogus addresses that I filled out. Actually, this is all my property. I've got a couple. Then dates of loss, it's a required field. So we'll just put the date of loss as of yesterday. Actually, let me go up here and clarify this because it will throw it for a loop. I've got to go change this to 2024. And 10, 2025. Sorry, I had to make sure my policy dates were all in sync. Okay, then again, date of assignment, I can go in there and do the date of assignment, date of contact. Now, one thing that you will recognize is date of loss is required, date of assignment is required, and these will work directly with the CMS if need be, and they'll also work directly. Then date of inspection, I'm just going to set this for the 24th. And coverages, I'm going to fill out the coverages. And the deductible. Okay, and the reason you got to fill these out is because they populate the other fields in the forms. So you want to make sure all that information. Then we have the risk rating 2.0. And then you can fill out the information that you need to here. Are these fields required? No, they aren't, except for you want to make sure that you have the data construction in there. So you want to make sure that because that will pull your prelim and post firm on the appropriate form. So you want to make sure you have that, and you can kind of just scroll in through and make sure you're putting the right thing, right date according to the loss notice. And then the firm date, you can put the firm date is, I'm just going to make this pre-firm, so bear with me here. And then again, your flood zones, because this will populate certain fields out there. Okay. So once this is all done, I've got everything filled out. Again, this is the foundation. You have to do this document. You want to make sure you're getting all of that information off that loss notice into the app. Okay. Yes, you can build it manually, and I'll show you that when I get into the app. That's actually what I was going to do first, but I forgot about this. You have to have this. This builds all of your app. This builds your forms. This puts all the information where it needs to be so you can actually load this all the way up through to Xactimate. Okay. So I'm all done. Once I'm done, I've got all the fields filled out. I'm going to make this pre-firm. I'm going to go in here and submit. Oh, it didn't let me submit. Well, it threw a cursor up here. And the reason is because I forgot my file number. Okay. I have to add that file number. So I'm just going to add OSA 123098. Okay, there's my file number. So I go back down to submit. There's my OSA. There's my JSON document that it's submitted. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to go down here to download it. And notice I get that JSON document up here. So I'm just going to name this. I'm just going to click on it and show you. There's my JSON document right there. So what I want to do with this document is I can actually just save as, and I'm going to go in and put it in one of my insureds folders. So I'm going to go down here into test files, and I'm just going to name this foundation test. Okay, so I know what it is, and then save. So I went into my test file, saved that. I went into my insureds folder and saved that. So once I'm done with that, Everything's done. I don't need this on there. So what is the benefit of this? I know there are some adjusters here that work with teams. I know there are adjusters here that have wives. I know there are adjusters here that have secretaries or friends or sisters or daughters or brothers, whatever. Those individuals can fill this document out online in a matter of minutes. I'll just give you an example. So once we got this JSON operating, my wife was able to upload all my JSONs for my entire my entire Helena and Milton storm. She did all this. She went into import forms. She key punched everything, saved it under that policyholder's name in the insurance folder, went to the next one, went to the next one, went to the next one. By the time she was all said and done, she was down to maybe 2 to 3 minutes per. And the reason is because once you enter this information online, it remembers it. If you don't do it online and you're doing it in your iPad will not remember that information. So this is a very useful tool under here on the import form. Now, if you are partnered with a company, they can actually do this electronically, and you'll just receive those claims electronically through OSA automatically, and you'll have to accept them or reject them. So there is a difference, but this is how you work it with OSA. This is the base of the foundation. Now you get back into OSA where you get all of the other information, and we'll show you that. So let me stop sharing this. All right, so now that we're in OSA, I need to find that JSON. So all I do is go up to OSA icon and see I've got no claim up here. I've got no claim. Oops, get out of there. I've got no claim and assignment. So I'm going to click on the pencil, and then I'm going to go over here. So let me stop really quick to show you this. So here's my current claims that are in the system right here. If I was tied into an IA firm that was partnering with us, all I would do is go to incoming claims, and all those claims would be listed right here. And then I would have to accept or reject them. So all I do is those claims would come automatically into OSA, and all I do is accept or reject them. And then they will flip over to current claims, and then you'll be up and running 100%. So again, back here, current claims, I'm going to go over here to the upper right-hand corner and add a claim. Once I've added a claim, notice I've got my available credits right here. Again, like I said back in the very beginning with the PowerPoint, prices are fixing to go up. So I would suggest doing what you think is necessary or doing what you think might be probable to go ahead and get some current claims. I know there are people on this call that have 50. There are people on this call that have 20, 10, 30, whatever. So they're preparing for the storm. So they're going ahead and purchasing those claims because, again, prices are going to go up. And yes, am I kind of telling on myself or taking whatever? I don't care about that. I mean, I want to make sure that you understand it. This also gives you the ability to go out and be more productive in making sure you're efficient with how the system works. Okay, so that's just my little tangent run. So I'm going to go into import claim. So I'm going to come up here and import claim, and notice it goes into my shared drive. So I did notice this last weekend. You have to have Drive downloaded on your, if you use Drive, if you use Dropbox, that's fine too, or OneDrive, you can use anything that you got. But if you're using Google Drive, you have to have Google Drive downloaded on your computer for the desktop version, and then you have to have Google Drive downloaded on your iPad too. So like I have right here, I'll just click on my Drive, and then I'll go into my Drive, and I've got to find that test folder or test files, which is down here at the very bottom. Let me finish scrolling down there to the test file. There's the test file. Click on that, and now I need to find that one claim. There it is, foundation test. So I go over to foundation test and click on it. Okay, so it's thinking, it's going in there. There were no errors. Now foundation test is located. I actually have a name for it, the fictitious name that I put on there. So I do have the name on there, Duet Lauren up there. Don't know where I came up with that name. But now I just want to go in and check the claim data. So there is the claim up here that I just downloaded. I want to go over here and check the claim data. And notice this field looks familiar. All this information is the information that I just uploaded. Okay, I've got all the policy, I've got all the FCN information or the risk rating information. Now I have something else that I can do here too. I can go in here and click on this tag right here. So if you have your company's logos, you'll click on here and download those logos through Drive. So you can download those logos, and then you just come over here and click on the logo. I'm just going to pick Deluge World. Then I'll scroll up and pick up the OSA logo, One Stop Adjuster. So now I have the two company logos. One is of the insurer, American Bankers, whoever it might be, Selective. And then I've got the IA firm, which could be any of the IA firms out there. You'll have their logo. Depending on which one you're working for, you just request it through their claims manager, and I know they'll give it to you. I know I've spoken with Clint and Keith already, and if you work for Fountain Group and you're on this call, all you got to do is send them an email, let them know that you're using OSA, and Clint said he will send you the logo to upload into OSA. BAC is the same way, and there's a couple of Mike Carley's the same way. He'll send you the logo if you need to, if you're using OSA. So there you go. You have all the information filled out correctly, and then you can go through, and then up here is the back arrow. Always remember, in the upper left-hand corner is the back arrow. So step out, and now I'm in the claims. So now that I'm in the claim, over here, I've got my list of icons. Notice it's just kind of the way I showed you the pocket guide, okay? I showed you the pocket guide as the dashboard, then I showed you the planning, then I showed you the inspection, and then the forms. There's one thing before you get into all the fun. You have to have your iPad set up. Again, the foundation. Make sure you're getting your iPad set up. This is critical for you. Okay, so go in here. Notice I have edit claim data, manage line items, export TSX. Now notice I am in a claim, so I can see all those. If you are not in a claim, or if you do not have a claim loaded, you will not be able to get into the manage line items. It will not appear, or the export TSX. You got to be in a claim. Then also with that is the resources. So again, here's just like the resources that I showed you. Look, an OSA help guide, which is going to go away. It's going to be replaced by the pocket guide. So you'll be able to see the pocket guide online. Okay. A post firm elevated building, a letter of representation, the co-insurance, a dry out log guide, all these things, an adjuster claims checklist guide. You can go in here and just kind of give yourself here it is. I'm also going to load the OSA process in here. So here it is with everything that you need for just an adjuster guide checklist. Make sure you don't forget anything. Okay. Post firm elevated building. If you're in there with an elevated building and you need that stuff, this information is right here at your fingertips. Again, the policyholder will see you using this, and the policyholder will want to know. Okay. Here's something that I always do when I'm talking in my process. When I am talking to the policyholder, I am in OSA if I can be. And the reason is I might be driving or something. But when I'm talking to them and making first contact with them, right there, I am sending them the claims handbook. Here's the claims handbook. I am sending him the ICC brochure. It's right here. I am also sending him the ICC policy holder process. Guess what? The ICC handbook does no good if you don't send them the process, because they don't know they don't know what that bulletin means. So you have to send them that. Also, I send them the dwelling checklist. Sir, I'll be your adjuster. Here's what I'm inspecting here. Here's what I'm going to be talking to you about when I come out to your house. These are just all things that you can be reminded of, and everything to start the process. Okay. A general property checklist. I don't talk to any general property without sending them this list. And the reason is because I tell them one thing: you will not get any money at all for an advance or claim payment unless I have all this information. And you know what? It works. And I'm not being mean. I'm giving them the information that I need back from them in order to process the claim and help expedite the claims process with them. Okay. So it's very simple. Policyholder information. If they have contents, I send them this. Here's your contents. Okay. Here's also a contents guide to the policyholder, different things. Then I go over here using claim experience. I don't know how many on this call use claim experience. I use claim experience for every single contents. Well, I send this to the policyholder so they know what to do, and then I send them the link. Then I also show them old school, and I tell them, what would you rather do? Do this on this Excel spreadsheet or do it on the link I'm going to send you for processing contents. And then I show them the research. I give them the idea of what we need for research. So when I give them this information, one, it keeps them busy. It keeps them off my back, off the phone, making calls, doing that information because they have work to do. Now I go out and validate that information. It's very simple. Then I've got the FEMA information down here. Oh, let me highlight that and click on the FEMA. And then I've got the NFIP fee schedule, the claims manual 2023, the commentary, mitigation brochure, the dwelling forms, then the first notice of loss and the claims appeal process. I give them all of the information. Oh, how many people miss this? The letter of representation. Here's the letter of representation. Hey, sir, are you going to be getting a public adjuster? Are you hiring an attorney? Here's the information I will need from you in order to continue speaking with them about your claim. So I'm giving them the information so they know very well what to do. So once I have all this stuff done, now I can begin. I've got your business card. Click on the business card. Here's what you can do. You can send it. When you send it to someone, here's the letter it's going to send for you. Is this tailorable? Can you add anything to this? No, it's just a very simple, cut and dry letter. Here it is. I'm your adjuster. Here's what I look like. Here's when I'm coming to your house, blah, blah, blah. Here's your data loss. So I'm just sending them something very simple to show that they've gotten the information from me. Your FCN card, upload your FCN card, your adjuster profile, your app settings, everything is right here. So when you're looking at your app, if you're clicking on it right now, you should have 2.0.2 in About Us. If you do not have 2.0.2, you are old school, okay? There have been many updates and you need to get the latest and greatest. And why? There was a small glitch in the preliminary report and it was just a true false statement that we had false and we had to have it true and we forgot to turn it back. It's simple question or simple tweak and now it is correct. So you want to make sure you have the latest and greatest. Again, once a claim is in here, as I discussed in the pocket guide, all your claims are mapped, okay? So I'm gonna click on a different claim just to kind of show you a different one there. So here's all my claims in the system. They're all mapped, okay? That dashboard up here is particularly important because when I go up here and I hit scheduled to completed, I've set it up to where this is responsible for an action in the planning, in the mapping. So right here, there's all my icons. There's all my inspections, okay? I have a question mark. If you see a question mark on the screen, it's an intuitive learning. It's a lesson that you can do to click on that and see what you've missed or what you need to learn on that claim. So you can go in there and learn. So click on the question mark and it's going to give you kind of like a help guide or whatever it might be to kind of give you the best we can as beta testers and as users what we've found. But what I like about this map is right here, it says hide completed. Oh, they all disappeared. Why? because I've already inspected them. I've marked them completed on my dashboard, and now I have the availability to go in here and work, okay? So everything is right there at your fingertips. Also, I have the calendar here that I can go back and look. Suppose this Charles Harris calls me up and says, hey, Todd, I can't see on August 22nd. I need to change it to the 19th. Okay, click on it and drag it over to the 19th, and it will change color. It also will change every date in your report. You won't have to go back. It will automatically change everything, okay? So these are just things that you need to just understand and balance. How do you do this? Hold that thought, okay? And then, so that's the mapping and calendar, okay? There's your mapping. Again, hide, and it will show you more. Then we have the forms, okay? The forms are pretty simple. They're the forms in FEMA. We've added the additional forms down here. If you add forms, we have all the forms you need. Again, all this, everything that you're seeing has to do with the foundation of what you are doing on site. Notice we had the claim data up front. You have to get that information in there. That's first thing, okay? Then we had to verify the claim data, and then we do the planning. We've got everything mapped. We're going to set those scheduling and all that stuff, and now we have the forms. I do this at the very end, the forms, when I'm back briefing the policyholder. You may have a different process. That's okay, but I do the forms. That's why it's the very last icon, because when I'm back briefing the policyholder, I can check all of these forms and go through every single one of them right there and get their signatures right there on site, okay? But here's some additional forms. Again, that's just by hitting the plus over here, and then you have all those forms. Notice I have the mobile home worksheet, which the mobile home worksheet was just updated to the new FEMA policy, so it's going to be in there. I've got general building photos. I got general personal property photos. And notice when I click on a personal property photo, I've got the model, serial number, quantity, age, replacement cost, date taken, and taken by, all together right there. So I've got all the information that I might need for that item on site at the location. I don't have the ability to take a picture of the QR code. It's something that my son has been working on. It's easier said than done. Just take a picture of that, or some of them have a QR code now where older models don't. But we're trying to get that to where it will also function, but it's probably going to be a little bit for that. Okay. And then again, we have the preliminary report. So if I go to the preliminary report and click on that, here's the FEMA preliminary report. Everything works. Everything's understandable. Everything is there. I can check the boxes. This is a running thing. So out here, if I need to check a commercial building or whatever, single family home, I can check on it. And then I can go in their main dwelling. Everything bounces the way it is. As you see the screen blip in and blip out, it's saving that information automatically. So, but as a safety, I always go up into the upper right-hand corner here and hit the safety net. Okay. That's just something that I've taught myself how to do. And I always hit safe. Same with Xactimate. I always go in there and hit the safety net. Okay. So again, those are your forms. Again, the adjuster, the advance payment form. Again, you can go in and fill it out. Then right down here, you just click on the signature box. I'm going to delete it. Click on the signature box. The policy holder can sign it right there on site and the date they signed it. Is that a good, valid signature? Yes, it is 100%. Why? Because you, as the adjuster, are watching the policy holder sign it. So that is not, it's not an electronic signature. It's actually them signing a piece of paper right in front of you. It's just an electronic form. Okay. So make sure you're doing that. Then you got the claims questionnaire, different forms. Again, all this is the foundation of where your claim is and what your claim's doing. The handbook, you can go in and sign those just right there. The policyholder can sign them and you can date it the same date he signed it, whatever it might be. Okay. So you have all that where you can let your fingers do the walking and get all of that when you're briefing the policyholder. and you're setting them up for success, and you're setting yourself up for success on the claim. Okay, so you just want to make sure you're going through those. Now, there is some um, special things that you can do inside the forms. So I'm going to go show you that, because this all has to do with the foundation of how you're getting all those reports up there. So right here at the top right, you see the select button. If you hit the select button, notice I have a little eyeball that pops up. And on a couple ones, I have a little blinking or whatever pulsating button that says photo sheets. Okay, those particular forms require photo sheets. So again, the adjuster preliminary report, if I go down to that pulsating button, click on it, notice I can check the prelim box. So I've got the prelim box, I've got my preliminary report done. Now I want to go view it, so I click on the eyeball. I can click on the eyeball. Oh, click on the eyeball. It's going to ask me to include my FCN. Yes, I want to include my FCN. And notice I have my preliminary report, my FCN, and all my preliminary photos automatically show up. That is a sweet package deal right there. All you have to do is upload that to a CMS or upload it to your Google Drive and send it up to your CMS, however you do that, manually or electronically, depends on your particular IA firm. And everything is done right there. I can delete the forms if I need to, but I want to make sure that I'm doing that. And I can upload all the forms. How do I upload them? I go to the other side of the document, click on that, and then I get a check mark. Now, I can do this one at a time, or I can do this 2, 3, 4 in a group. The way it works is if I want to do multiple, I go over here to download, and yes, I want to include my FCN, and I'm going to go over here to my Google Drive, click on my Google Drive, and notice it says Colby Eisenberg in a zip. So Colby Eisenberg up here is the policy holder. Okay, that's my other son that helps with the development. Colby Eisenberg is the policy holder, and it says Colby Eisenberg forms zipped. Okay, so it's taking the adjuster preliminary report and the advanced request report, it's zipping that file and adding those two reports. So I simply go to my drive. I'm going to go to the test files again, wherever that is, test files, and I'm going to save here, and I'm going to upload. Okay. So now on my computer in my Google Drive, I have that zip file. Okay. So let's show you something really quick. Okay. I think I can do this on my iPad. Yeah. Go to test files. And who was it? Colby Eisenberg, form zip. Click on that. And, oh, it's not going to let me unzip. I don't have a zipper or an unzipper on my iPad, so I can't do it on my iPad. But if I clicked on it, it would unzip and it would show two files. And the two files would be the preliminary report and the advanced report. And it will ask me, do you want to save these forms combined? Yes. Or do you want to save these forms as individuals? And you can save them and extract them, and they will save as two individual reports, or you can combine the two reports. So it's either way. And that's based on your PDF writer. I don't know how you have your PDF writer set up, but that's based on how you have that set up. When they come to me zipped, I separate them so I have individual forms, because I might be required to load it to that IA firm in a different way. So that's just with that. Is there any questions about that at all? Because that was one of the other questions that I had at the training class. So it's very simple to download the forms. All right. So again, so this class is going to be shorter, but I do want to show you some advanced stuff or whatever, just a little bit about Thursday's training. But so now I've got the foundation. What did I do first? I got online, and I went to onestopadjuster.com, one-stop-adjuster.com, and I filled out the import form, very first thing. Then I uploaded that to my Google Drive and I saved it in my insurance folder. Then I opened up my iPad and I used a credit and brought that in. Now, at the very beginning of this class, I said this class is a precursor to what's going to happen this weekend. If you are coming this weekend, which I hope to see all of you, if not some of you there, I want you to do this for 3 claims or 2 claims or whatever, and set yourself up, get all that information loaded in there. So when you show up and you only have your iPad, or when you show up to class, you can do it there too. You can set up your laptop and do it right there. There is internet. You can do all that there. You build the claim off your loss notice, and then you can go work those claims at the house. And I will give you the step by step guidance of how to do it. My goal is at the training site is for you to start here at importing the form or building the JSON, going through the process, like simulating, contacting the policyholder, knocking on the door, and inspecting the claim, going through there, and then writing the claim, and then uploading the claim to your ESX. And then on Sunday, coming back and fine tuning everything to make sure you're doing it. There's an individual on this call that did 3 of those at the last training event, the last 2-day training event. He did a very good job. And yes, he was a beta tester, so he was able to go through that and go through the process. But he couldn't believe what he was doing because he was a beta tester and we didn't have this ability first. Now we have this ability, and he was just, I don't know, what were you, Gary? Flabbergasted, whatever, excited. He's smiling online. Okay. He was good. But so now we have that. So that's the foundation of everything. Once you have this done, now you get to play. And how you get to play is come Thursday, you get to go to the inspection tab. When you go to the inspection tab, this is where all the fun begins. You have your photos that you can take. You have your scan that you can do up here. So you have your whole entire scan that you can do of the house there on site. And then you have the ability, hit the back arrow. Then you have the ability to add line items. So I added all these line items to the estimate, and it didn't take me very long. Okay. I'll give you an example really quickly how long it takes. So let me back out to the scan. Oh, we've added another button. Let me show you this because this was brought up in Guy. So I'm going to help. So this individual, this adjuster, he used to be a GA at a FEMA or NFIP, and he called me up and he goes, "Hey, Todd," he says, "I found something, an error for you." And I said, "Okay, what'd you find?" He said, "Man," he goes, "I love your program." He goes, "I can't tell you how much TV I've watched because I haven't watched it because I've been fixed on the app, sitting down on my couch, having a beer or a glass of wine or whatever, or Coke, whatever, and just going step by step." So going through the dashboard, going to the notes, finding out what the notes do. This is a test. Writing in, this is a test, saving that note. There's 2 notes now. So the reason I came in here to start, so those of you that, have this, we now have in the notes section, the ability to come over here and share those notes. So now I can download all that activity that I've just done in there and add it to my claim file. So I can put a note in there, contacted the policyholder, inspected the claim. I can put notes about my claim in there. I can do chit chat, whatever I need to, notes for myself, but I now have the ability to download it. Okay. So we've added that function to it. That will be it's in review right now with Apple. So that will be in the next update. And we're trying to have it out there by this weekend. And I'm hoping it will be there because you'll be able to add other notes too. So that's just one. So on the inspection, here you go. So notice up here in this corner, you have scoping. If I slide the screen to my right, I have sketching. If I slide it over here to photos, I have nothing. Well, we've added that button too. So now this one will say photos. And what that button does is it just simply gives you a way to navigate to scoping. or I can navigate back to photos instead of dragging, which I never realized it was missing because I always just drag left and right because it's easier. But this is just to help you out. It's giving you more than one option. It's giving you more than one way to do anything. Okay, so I'm going to go to scan like I was starting, and I'm going to click on the scan itself, and I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to shrink this up by using my 2 fingers, and I'm going to add a wall right there. And notice, let me go and delete that little wall because I just added a room. Well, I'm going to go into this room right here that I'm in, room 1, and I'm going to click on it, and notice it's got room 1. I'm going to go up and name this, and I'm just going to say this could be my whatever you want to call it, game room. We'll just call it game room. Okay. Oh, so I'm going to go up here, select, and type in game room. Boom, game room's done. Now it's added, and I can create game room. So now game room's done. Notice I have no photos, so I can come over here, click on photos, go to my camera, and click on photos. I just took a photo of the game room. Okay, so that's how simple that was. So not only did I just create the game room, I just added a photo. Now I want to add line items. Okay, so I can go in there and add line items. Everything that you're seeing right now is going to be in detail on Thursday, except for we're going to go that much deeper, that much further. So here's my game room. I go into game room. Notice I've got my sketch up here at the top. I've got my photo that I took right here. We're actually adding another icon over here in the left, which will give you the ability to add notes, any additional notes, and that is already in the process in review. So the next update should have a note section where you'll be able to click on that and just be able to type in there freehand whatever notes, like the back wall of this house had wainscot on it or something like that. So you can do that as you're writing in your estimate, so you just don't forget. Maybe you can't find the line item. So it's just a way to add a special note for you as the adjuster to go in there. Now, we're not going to make a way to download it to it, but you'll be able to reference back to it in your OSA app if you have to. And we may come up with the ability to do it. We just haven't yet. We're trying to just get it done. So I'm going to go in and add line items. I'm just going to go add a complete kit. And there, I just added line items for all that room. Okay, so how long did that take me? A whole whopping 6 seconds, not even that. And now I can go in and modify this if I need to, select multiple items. I can go in here and select multiple items. Say this was a tile floor. I can go in here and delete multiple items at one time. Don't want to delete that one. Tile floor, reground stain, and there it is. So I can go in and delete, and now I've just written that estimate. So these are all things that you'll see in more detail and how they all transfer over to Xactimate. But this was just a simple teaser for you to get you to come back, because adjusters on this call, adjusters that have been to training before you, and adjusters like myself are only learning ways to make it better for you. Okay. Some of my beta testers are on this call, and all we've done is we've got we have over 3,500 claims run through this system right now. Okay. In just the line items itself, with what we've added, I think we have like 200 or 300 claims run through them right now. And that's because I'm doing it every day to make sure there's no flaws, no breaks, no damages. And there's other adjusters out there that are actually using it. There's a couple of adjusters that are used on site for claims right now. So it works. It is working. And again, it's only going to get better as you continue. You guys are on the ground floor of this, and you have nothing but up to go with where this is going and what it's going to do for you and your claims processing. Is there any questions about OSA and what it's working on? Did everybody understand the foundation? The foundation starts with one-stop-adjuster.com. Again, filling out the form and getting it into the app. If your company is doing it electronically, you'll be able to get on electronically. The other thing is on the app or on the website, don't forget we have the OSA resources now available, so you can go in there. I know I've got to send, or Pam, myself will send a couple emails out about some adjusters that are having surgery and not able to make it. They wanted to see the videos, and the new videos will be uploaded probably by this weekend. So you'll see the foundation this weekend and stuff like that. Is there any questions at this time about it? Okay. Remember to update your iPad if you haven't already. You want to get in there and start playing with it, and then you can go ahead and go in to get your two free claims. And if you only want to use one, that's fine. I'm not telling you you have to go buy any, but again, prices are going to go up when training's done. I've held back on updating the price list and everything of that because of training, and I wanted to make sure everybody had the ability to do what they needed to. Okay, Pam, did you have any questions for me? Are you even still on? I don't see her. Oh, Michelle's Pam now. Okay, Michelle, is there any questions?
No, it seems like you answered everything. No additional questions.
Okay, well, again, that's all I have for training tonight. I knew it was going to be shorter because of the way I structured tonight's training, because I wanted to show you the foundation, the things you have to do in order to get to the next step, to get to the next processing. And Thursday is going to be kind of the same way. We're going to go through the inspection process. I'm going to show you a live. I'm going to show you everything, but then we're going to get to Xactimate and show you what you need to do in Xactimate and how easy it is at your fingertips right there. And again, there are people on this call that did it actually at the training house. And if you are coming to the training house, bring your laptop because you'll be able to do it too at the training house. And I will show you how, and there will be some other people that will be able to show you how to do that. So please do that. But that's all I have for you. And again, thank you very much for coming to training. I hope you see and like what you've seen, and I hope to see you at the training. And it will be, again, Gary Slattery is on this call. He drove down from North Carolina. I can't hear you, Gary. You're muted. But he drove down from North Carolina, and he learned a whole bunch. And he was actually a beta tester too. Gary, did you have anything you wanted to say? He shook his head no. Okay. Michelle, did you have anything you wanted to say since you flew in from Houston?
No, I'm good. The training, it was worth it all.
Okay.
It
All
was
right.
worth
Well,
it all.
again, yep. Again, thank you guys for coming. And I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. We'll go over the inspection, go over the Xactimate. So everything will be moving forward to claim closure, which you will want to see. All right. Thank you very much. Talk to you later. Bye.